Hi, and welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 21st of April 2026. So futures slide yesterday as oil jumps on ceasefire setback. Nasdaq in danger of ending 13-day streak. While the developments of the weekend certainly cooled the optimism, it did not derail it completely. And markets keep expecting a near-term solution which will allow the energy to flow again. Well, things have changed a bit since that came out. Yesterday, Brent trades either side of the $95 per barrel, which is okay because it's way much lower than it was. And equity futures pull back from highs, bonds lower, and the Dixie also, which is a surprise as well. And tomorrow, which means today, is testimony from Kevin Warsh to walk tightrope on rates, inflation, and Fed independence. So that'll be interesting as well, see how quickly he's going to cut rates for Trump. But just going back to the main thing, Iran says or warns is prepared new cards on the battlefield. So again, the fact that there's still no peace talk still leaves us guessing what the lunatic in Washington is going to do. And economic news, let's have a look for today. Again, here we go. Look, Trump, I'm winning the war by a lot. The blockade, which we will not take off until there is obviously some sort of resolution. Claimant count today for the UK as well. It used to be known as the unemployment numbers. And then over to the US for all of the other news. But the important one, of course, is going to be Warsh, who I think is the next Fed chairperson, isn't he, if I recall? So he's going to be making his mark today, first time, as Powell gets ready to box all of his items up in the office and clear off, much to Trump's relief. Right, let's have a look at the markets yesterday, obviously after the weekend's events of no peace talks, and start off with the Dow. So in the Dow, holding really well for yesterday and staying above the low of yesterday as well, but not enough to get back to the all-time high yet. Maybe Kevin will do that for the market today. We'll just have to wait and see. The market's going to be hanging on what interest rates are going to do. And yesterday, apart from when the market opened, there was a bit of a pullback. Other than that, it was straight up, and the market is already above or trading at, just slightly above yesterday's high as well. So like I say, the most important thing today, barring any stupidity from Trump, is going to be the speech from the Fed chair, or the new Fed chair. Let me just go back a second. When is that actually out? So 3 p.m, so if you trade the Dow or the Nasdaq or whatever, just watch out at that time. So the Dow at the moment's moving to the upside. Let's have a look at the German DAX. So the German DAX also managing to move higher as well. There wasn't any major sell-off yesterday, but then there was no bombing, was there? And this too, you can see, is already above yesterday's high, heading back to that all-time high of 25,522. And there in the 30-minute chart, you can see the high being taken out. A bit of a pullback yesterday with the US markets opening at 230, but other than that, markets are moving higher. I think a bit of a wobble round here with Lagarde speaking as well. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. So in the S&P, holding very well for yesterday, nowhere near Friday's low, and already starting to break out above yesterday's high as well. Same thing at 230, the cash market pulling back a bit, but you can see the volume increasing there and then staying above the 50 bar moving average of 20 as well once it recovered. In the FT 100, well, you'd think with what's going on in London that this would have actually sold off, but absolutely not. Stuck in a sideways range, and if it holds at this, then we're definitely going back above this. Teflon Kia seems to be getting away with it once more, and I suspect he will continue to get away with it as well, as he's part of the elite, the Davos boy. And yesterday in the FTSE, you can see that didn't even sell off, didn't even bat an eyelid about what's going on. The corruption down there is just breathtaking, isn't it? But it's all just, we all just take it for granted now. Many, many years ago, we'd have said this is just awful, but now we just know they're corrupt to the core in whatever part of society. It's just corruption everywhere. So no surprise really, the market is itself. The markets are corrupt, the politicians are corrupt. So again, there's no surprises that it's just become the norm. Right, let's have a look at the Nasdaq. And in the Nasdaq, no new all-time high yesterday, but we can see that we're heading back towards one. Let me just put that back on where we can see the all-time high, which is on Friday, and that's sitting there at the moment at 26719. Let me just save that so I don't have to draw it on again tomorrow, unless it makes a new all-time high today, which I suspect it will. Now you've got your lunchtime sell-off, or just pre to the cash market opening, and then when the cash market opened, market dropped, and then overnight you can see how the markets rallied back up. So yes, the 13-day winning streak was broken, but looks like we're set to make and start a new one there. Let's have a look at the US dollar. So in the US dollar, yesterday the market was actually down, which is a surprise to me, but stuck in a sideways move at the moment. The metals are supported at the moment. We're still above $90 there overnight in Shanghai, and we're still got a $10 premium, or close to 11. The gold-silver ratio is sitting at 60. That's also sideways, or going into a sideways move at the moment. And the stress in the COMEX is sitting at 70 there. So let's have a look at the price action in the metals. So starting off with silver, we're going into a sideways range there as well at around the $80 level. 30-minute charts. Had a bit of a shakeout overnight. You can see that there. We're starting to make its way back to the upside. And gold also moving back to the upside as well. Nice trend there off the 200 MA from a few weeks ago. And the 30-minute chart, you can see overnight, this is slightly in decline. So if a peace deal's done, expect a shakeout. If there's bombs being dropped again by Trump, expect a shakeout. Yesterday, you can see there was a bit of a pullback there, but nothing, only marginal, and the market's already below yesterday's low there as well. So let's have a look at yesterday's trading session in the German DAX. So a few technical problems yesterday, which is why you've got a screenshot as opposed to the actual recording, which we'd actually start in a moment. But we had a buy early on, and this moved up quite nicely over 100 points, and then a sell as well, which also moved lower to 1 point, making 100 points as well. And then after midday, we can see that the market was stuck in a sideways range waiting for the US markets. There was some news out there. Again, it was obviously some sort of positive news, but then soon filtered out, unless that positive news was that Starmer was going to make a statement and there was a chance of getting rid of him. But I don't think so. I think it's more of a geopolitical news item. The market then put in a sell, and then there was a potential buy that wasn't filled, so that was cancelled. And we see the market once again moving lower. Now, this is obviously some sort of geopolitical news, because the buy side was filled and then immediately taken out with this bar, and then prices settled down then, as you can see, and started to retrace some of those losses from that bar. Big bar, 100 points there. But as the evening went on, prices just settled, as you can see there. So where are we overnight? And in the 2 minute currently, let's just have a look. We're through yesterday's high at the moment. It's a matter of whether we can actually hold above there, but there is some buying coming into the market. So as we've seen with all of the markets that we've looked at, both here and in the US and in Europe, there is a bit of stability in the markets at the moment. So, like I say, don't hold your breath. We just don't know what Trump is going to do. Whether he's going to become petulant again, throw his teddy out of the pram, or take his bat home. So I wouldn't want to be sitting in Iran at the moment. That's for sure. Right, that's it for this one. Let's see how the market continues. Well, if the market continues to move higher, etc. But we'll see. So have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.